up? We're back in the pits. All right, let's get ready for this.
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
First of all, congrats on placing third at Daytona on your first race back. Now that you had time to reflect and process what you've accomplished, how excited are you to be back on track and being in the mix for wins and possibly even a championship this season?
Yeah, it's fun to be back. I mean, definitely, I wanted to win, like anyone does. I wanted to qualify first, win, lead every lap, kind of tick every box, but sometimes it's just not possible. But honestly, the biggest emotion was just relief. You work so hard, you trained hard, rehab, it took way too long in my mind to get back to racing again, and then to get back into the swing of things, take the green flag, and then just get into the race. It felt amazing. It felt like really, really, it felt natural. Like it felt like nothing changed. I mean, obviously I'm driving with hand controls now, but just racing wheel to wheel with other competitors, and it was a blast. And to get the podium was kind of the icing on the cake.
Yes, that was awesome. How similar is driving the car for Bryan Herta Autosports compared to the sim setup you have at home? How has that transition been for you, and how valuable is the iRacing prep for your return being back in a car?
Yeah, the throttle application is actually very similar between what I use on my home simulator and what I use here with Bryan Herta Autosport. The brake is completely different. Here the brake is on the steering wheel, which is what I would like on my simulator, but it's just it's too hard to manufacture and it's a little complicated. So on my simulator at home, I have like a handbrake off the steering wheel, like what Alex Zanardi used when he did the 24 Hours of Daytona a few years ago. So it's the easiest system to just, for anyone who wants to go on iRacing and play with disabilities, it's a pretty simple setup to get racing, and it's a lot of fun, but not a whole lot of similarities between the two.
Who have been some of the people with Bryan Herta Autosports who were instrumental in helping you get back in a race car? Can you tell me a little bit how this deal was put together?
Well, I mean, Bryan Herta himself was the main reason this happened. I mean, Sean Jones also has been a large advocate for me, but one day, I think it was Daytona 2020, 2021, Daytona 2021. Brian asked me, or was talking to Sean, and Michael Johnson had just joined their team, and they were thinking like Michael has hand controls, we should see if Robert would be interested. And so they called me, asked if I would ever be interested in racing again, because as a driver to driver, Brian just maybe I didn't want to race again, but so he asked me if I ever had any ambition to drive again. I said absolutely, I'm just trying to get my chance. And he said, all right, well, let me have a think about it, and I'll get back to you. And then a few months passed, we didn't really speak, and then just ahead of I think it was May 4th, 2021, he called me. He said, hey, we're doing a track day at Mid-Ohio. There's a car there if you want to drive it. And I was just like, yeah, let's go. That sounds amazing. And then one thing led to another. That I never lost the bug, but driving again in a proper race car on a real racetrack, it validated everything I was working towards, and I knew I needed to race again somehow. And the kind people at Hyundai and Bryan Herta Autosport put their faith in me, and were able to put a deal together to be on the grid for this year in 2022, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Back in 2019, I discussed racing in the Indy 500 with Alex Zanardi. He did mention racing the Indy 500 being much less of a physical demand than that of a road course.
I'm saying that technically speaking, I think to drive at Indy would be much easier than drive around a circuit like this one, where you have to brake hard, to steer left, right, to deal with shifting, to deal with a lot of things that at Indy are not happening. At Indy, what it takes is the skill, is the capability to read the car, to know when to go and when to go. It's a different type of game for which it's more the knowledge rather than the technical equipment to deliver, because in reality, in a place where most of the time you stay wide open and you just steer the wheel, in fact, for a disabled man like I am, it would be, less of a problem, let's put it that way. Whether this is going to happen in this life of mine, I don't know.
What are your thoughts on racing at Indy or anywhere else, transitioning the hand control system over one day? How real is that, and would you ever do it?
I mean, I would do it for sure. It's a little more complicated than that. I mean, I want to do it if I have a chance to win. I don't want to just hopefully qualify and then be one of the 33 drivers in the race. Like, I want to be the driver in the race. I want to lead every lap, qualify pole, and win the race, right? Then how do you achieve that? You know, obviously it takes a lot of ingenuity, it takes a lot of research and development to come up with a hand control system. What we're using in this Hyundai Elantra N TCR car, it works great for this car, but the demands of an Indy car are so much higher. So even though Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you don't need that much braking, there's still the whole sequence of pit lane, you know, slowing down, getting in. Like, if you lose a second in the pits, it's still a second. It doesn't matter if you're not using the brake much on track. You still need it in every avenue of the race. And you've seen it time and time again. To win the Indianapolis 500, you have to do a perfect 500-mile race. And so it's definitely, I would consider it, I'd entertain it, but at the moment, with the technology that's available in IndyCar, it's just not possible right now.
If it was created soon enough, would you definitely take that opportunity? Yeah.
I'd have to have a conversation with my lovely wife, but yeah, I think it's definitely, I would do it if the opportunity was in front of me today.
Well, I would never count Robert out. I think he's eminently capable. The system that we have in these Elantra N TCR cars wouldn't be something you could directly put into an Indy car, but there's a lot of pieces and concepts of it that if somebody really wanted to spend some time and money on it, I'm positive that a suitable hand control system could be designed, especially around a place like Indy where you don't have nearly as many inputs. You know, you think about a road course when you're trying to hand control when you're driving, there's a lot more going on. In Indy, the hand movements are really small, so I think, if anything, that's a place where hand control would be sort of the least detriment.
I like that. What are your goals for the next couple of years with Bryan Herta Autosport, and how long do you see yourself racing in IMSA?
Hopefully I can race in IMSA for a long time. You know, I love it here. It's been great. Everyone at IMSA, Bryan Herta Autosport, all the competitors, they've all been very kind and very welcoming to me. And, you know, the great thing about IMSA, there's a lot of room to grow within. You know, right now we're in the Michelin Pilot Challenge. It's a great championship, but I really want to return to that elite level of competition that I was at when I was racing in IndyCar, when I was racing in DTM. And I believe I can reach that success in IMSA. You know, whether it be in the WeatherTech series, racing for a manufacturer, or in the LMDH or GTD Pro. You know, there's a lot of opportunities to still race against the best cars in the world, the best drivers in the world, and that's really what I want to do.
And switching gears to something a little bit more fun, what's it like being married to a professional cosplayer who comes home dressed as a random character all the time? Please tell me you've done some kind of cosplay, or we'll do some kind of cosplay with her.
Yeah, I mean, it was unique. When I got to, you know, I didn't even really know what cosplay was when we first started dating, and it was a world I knew nothing about, and same thing, she knew nothing about motorsport, so it was a lot of fun to immerse myself in her work, and then she immersed herself in my work, and it was really cool. And she stopped doing cosplay. She still loves sewing and designing and doing lots of stuff, but yeah, she's not doing cosplay anymore. Yeah.
All right, and that's it here at Sebring. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a blast here talking to Robert and hanging out with everybody. See you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Later!